Welcome to My Daily Thread. It's a great little place to get a snippet of wisdom from the yoga and the meditation masters to start or to end your day. I'm Jeff Lichty. All right, welcome back to My Daily Thread. We are on the hunt. We are looking for that discriminative wisdom that Patanjali is talking about and promising. Now, here we go. Yesterday we did Yoga Anga Nushtana Dashidikshaya Jnana Deeptira Vivekakyate. And that is this idea that through the Anushtana, through a practice that's dedicated and secure over time, that practice of the limbs gives us Anushtana, takes away or dwindles away the impurities that are covering up that discriminative wisdom that is within us. But let's just break down this sutra, 228, just a little bit more today, and then we're moving on tomorrow to 29. That is the Ashtanga Yoga definition, really. Yesterday we talked about Anushtanan, and that's the word that talks about how from a strong, determined practice, we get the result. This reminds me that Sri O.P. Tiwari would have us come to his institute at the Kavali Dam to do an Anushtanan, which is a very set and determined time of practice where you're with the master and you're able to learn the pranayama practices. And this was, he called it the Anushtanan. And so we see this word comes from Patanjali. And so from the Anushtanan, we receive something from that strong, determined daily practice with the master. So what are these impurities? Impurities, they're not a sin thing like we might see in the Judeo-Christian traditions, but impurities, they arise out of a vidya that we talked about back with the kleshas. The impurities, for me, they arise in the form of my fears. Now, I do different things with the fears. I used to drink it away. I don't do that anymore. I don't think that works very well. I used to pursue high adrenaline sports in the mountains, pushing right to a limit that may have been dangerous at times. And even in yoga with asana, I'd just about break my body trying to put it into shapes. Again, I don't think that's the way. It's not a way to deal with fear and restlessness. So to me, part of the yoga is to really understand that dealing with our fears, we have to deal with them through a deep internal place of peace and of practice, constant practice. And then it's out of that, he says, jnana deeptira. True jnana, or knowledge, it's not just a mental construct. There's something that bubbles up from inside. There's an illumination, almost this joy. And the more that we practice, the more that we push away or leave aside the things that get in the way, when we start to face the fears head on and we start to sit with them and see that they can't last, that they can't stand up to the wisdom, then this inner light shines. And that's that jnana deeptira. And remember, we talked yesterday again about the goal, that goal of vivekakyati. That's that discriminative discernment. All of our yoga practices point to that one true outcome. And this is it. It's vivekakyati. This is that real ability to discern whatever it is we're looking at. Now, when we think about Sankhya Yoga or the Sankhya philosophy, it's this understanding of what's Purusha and what's Prakriti and what's real and what's not real, and being able to separate those two to really understand the truth. Still, it doesn't matter whether that Sankhya thing is a goal of yours. I'm not even really sure it's a goal of mine. But this idea that we develop vivekakyati, true discriminative wisdom, this is exciting for me because this discriminative discernment, this discriminative wisdom really helps me in the rest of my life. This is a process. It doesn't happen suddenly. That's why Satchidananda says they dwindle away, but transformation will come. I want you to think about this. As we've talked about, yoga in our modern world is often reduced to just physical postures, and that is not it. This sutra reminds us that yoga is about this deep internal purification, we might say, or development of clarity, or just removal of obstacles. And this is so that the light of wisdom can shine forth. All right, let's get clear, folks. That's what we're trying to do here. Yoga's going to bring us clarity. From that clarity, we're going to get a little bit of freedom, and we're going to see more of that in the next sutra. All right, till tomorrow. Om. Peace out.